Hi, I'm Bev Hepting, the Message Maestro, specialising, so people tell me, in helping you get your message out and tell your story. I wanted to ask you today how visible you think you are online. And if you're not, have you ever considered why you're not visible? You see, one of the things that's happening at the moment is we are living in a world where the world and its dog is online. Everybody's there, cannot be helped. And it is a very, very noisy place to be. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because when you're sat at your desk in your home office or the kitchen or under the stairs if the kids are running around and being homeschooled, it feels like it's you and it's a desert out there. It's really quiet. And you know those old westerns where the things would bundle through to the wind and no one was about. And that is the problem. Knowing that actually in reality, if you could hear everybody online, it would just be a cacophony of voices that say nothing. You would not be able to pull yourself through all of that to find the one thing you wanted to hear or the one person you wanted to hear you. And then from your point of view, it's as quiet as the grave. So what do you do about that? How do you pull those two things together? How do you really ensure that you are visible to people? Well, there are a myriad of ways you can do that. You could drop your cat down the toilet and teach it to swim. That tends to bring in a lot of followers. Or you could, I don't know, run a marathon. And there are so many things you could do to make yourself visible. But I'm going to put a but in there, and but is not my favourite word. Why do you want to be visible? That's the question you have to ask yourself. What is it that you want to be visible for? What's your message? What is it you want to say? Why do you want to say it? Yeah, I know. You're all now going, oh my God, more things to think about. You know, I was just dealing with social media and dealing with this. Before you can be heard on social media or anywhere else for that matter, online, you have to know who you want to talk to. You have to know that the people you're talking to hear what you're saying to them in very clear, very succinct ways. So often we think we've got to be really clever. You know, I've seen people, and some of my clients have fallen into this trap of being really clever and using really fancy words, and they use their industry speak and they talk about all the qualifications they've got and the knowledge they've got and one thing and another. Come here. I'm going to let you into a secret. Nobody cares. That's the problem. We don't care about everything you've done. What we care about is what we need, our problem. How do we get out of that problem? And the bigger the problem, the clearer you have to be when you speak to them. And I'll let you into another little secret. People are not willing to spend money with people they don't know, they don't trust, or they can't hear. It's pretty simple. Think about it. Think about your friends. Think about when somebody asks you for help. Your best friend rings you and says, can you come and build a wall? Well, of course you can't. That's not what you do. Your best friend rings you and says, I'm having a really bad day. Fancy coming around for a cup of tea? Simple. Off you go. It's the same premise. We're having conversations with people all the time. But those people have got to learn to trust us. And the only way they can trust us is to understand what we're actually saying to them. And if you're being too clever, honestly, the brain just can't keep up. When you speak to people, it's an instant reaction. I could go into the physics and it's not really instant, but I'm not going to. But it is an instant reaction. It creates this connection in our head that either really annoys us or makes us smile or makes us laugh, depending on what we're trying to do. If you tried to talk to somebody in a really complicated manner all around the houses, what would happen? Think about it this way, if you've got kids or a partner and they're constantly leaving things all over the floor, you could turn around to them and tell them all about the job you had in HR that you hated. So you went and retrained to sort clutter because that helps with the mind. And if people just stop, you could, by which time the kids have either gone and dropped some more stuff on the floor or partner's asleep. Would you just say to them, please, can you pick your things up? Because I'm either going to break them or trip over them. It's not about being clever, it's about being smart and effective. It's exactly the same way when you're talking either online or anywhere else to people you need to hear your message. So simplicity and visibility go hand in hand. They really do. So think about why you want to be visible. Then think about where. Where do you want to be visible? And you need to be visible where your clients are. It is absolutely no point turning up to a vegetarian conference or a group on vegetarians or vegans trying to sell them sausages. Pointless. Find out where they are and then go talk to them. If you're looking to do some sort of, craft, you're really bored to death, you need a hobby, you decided you're going to find a craft and you want to paint landscapes, you're not going to end up at a builder's yard to say, please teach me to make bricks. There's an awful lot of visionary things in that whole thing I've just said, isn't there? But sometimes we need those because so often we think in pictures. It's easier. We can put those things together, those images, and go, oh, that's what she means. I get it now. Think about that and have a plan. Please have a plan for your visibility. Have a strategy. I know we all hate the word strategy, but it's basically, where do I want to turn up? How many times do I want to turn up? Who do I want to see me? What message am I giving to these people? And how do I know they're getting it? Really important. So get yourself a strategy. And if you want any help with that, call me. Let's have a conversation. We can just go over the sorts of things you need to think about being visible. It's about being seen and heard. It's not about being everywhere, screaming with the herd. It's about standing quietly in the middle of the herd while everybody else is milling around you and just talking to the people who need to listen to you. Think about it, because remember, it's not about you. It is about the people you serve. Bye.